We have thousands of Christmas movies, and we all agree on the rules. But the cinematic universe of Easter is different. It's a landscape of bizarre, fragmented, and surprisingly high-stakes fever dreams. This stands in stark contrast to the holiday's traditional roots. For centuries of Orthodox and global Christian communities, this day has been defined by solemnity, specific ritual foods, and a deep theological focus on resurrection. Animators tasked with turning this ancient tradition into a 90-minute family comedy faced a structural problem. You cannot easily build a compelling narrative around a passive mascot who simply hides eggs. To make these movies work, studios had to mutate the character into a conflicted protagonist. Writers consistently rely on three specific character archetypes to drive these plots. We see the rebel who rejects the job, the Scrooge who actively ruins it, and the guardian who weaponizes it. These films are rarely about a simple egg hunt. They function as a battleground where ancient traditions collide with modern cynicism. The rebel archetype defines the 2017 film Rabbit School. The protagonist, Max, is a city-dwelling petty thief who prefers soda and rule-breaking to his ancestral calling. He doesn't just lack interest, he is actively hostile toward the holiday traditions. While this angst feels modern, the storyline is actually adapted from a conservative German fairy tale published in 1924. This friction between individual desire and communal duty has been part of the lore for a century. Hollywood escalated this archetype in the 2011 film Hop, starring James Marsden. Here, the heir to the Easter Empire abandons his post entirely to move to Los Angeles and pursue a career as a drummer. This abandonment creates a power vacuum at the holiday's magical headquarters on Easter Island. While the heir is in Hollywood, a power-hungry chick named Carlos stages a literal coup d'etat to seize control of the operation. The 2018 Peter Rabbit flipped this dynamic. Instead of running away, Peter engages in a violent turf war against the human nephew who inherits the farm, using booby traps and tactical aggression to guard his territory. This chaotic energy is actually faithful to the original 19th century source material. The creator, Beatrix Potter, wrote stories with high stakes and real danger long before they were translated into high-octane CGI action. By framing the protagonist as a character who actively rejects his destiny, these scripts transform the holiday mission from a biological requirement into an intentional, hard-won choice. Other films move past the comedy to treat the holiday as a critical psychological lifeline, utilizing the Scrooge archetype. Winnie the Pooh Springtime with Roo subverts its cuddly franchise by turning Rabbit into a bitter Dickensian figure. He becomes a character who actively cancels the spring celebration out of personal resentment. This dark psychological angle mirrors the complex and often melancholic history of the character's creators, A.A. Milne and his son, Christopher Robin. This culminates in the Guardian archetype found in Rise of the Guardians. Here, the Easter Bunny is a 6-foot-tall warrior whose primary function is to defend children from the physical manifestation of fear. The high stakes of this mythos come from a tragic real-world source. Author William Joyce wrote this universe for his teenage daughter as she was battling a terminal brain tumor. This biographical context redefines the Easter Bunny's role. He functions as a protector, administering a vital dose of hope to a world defined by fear. When films utilize these darker psychological stakes, they turn the holiday's whimsical framework into a vehicle for navigating complex themes of grief and redemption. There is a significant narrative blind spot in this genre. Despite the varied archetypes of rabbits and magic, most modern Easter cinema avoids the actual historical origin of the holiday. The film Jeremiah is a notable exception. It strips away the fairy tale elements to follow a human boy in ancient Jerusalem who is seeking military glory as a king's guard. The film replaces magical islands and talking animals with the dense architecture and geopolitical reality of first-century civilization. The narrative forces the protagonist to abandon his violent ambitions after he witnesses the historical events surrounding Jesus Christ. This provides a definitive anchor for the mythology that followed. The evolution of the Easter mythos, from 1920s fables to Hollywood action and epic battles against fear, highlights a universal human need. Beneath the chocolate and pastel colors, these stories illustrate a desperate desire to believe that light will ultimately conquer darkness.
What if I told you that the best Easter movies have nothing to do with fluffy bunnies and everything to do with rockstar drummers and literal superhero showdowns? Seriously, forget what you think you know about Easter films. In this explainer, we're diving deep into a surprisingly wild world of animated holiday stories. From laugh-out-loud comedies to high-stakes action flicks, and even a journey to the very origin of the holiday itself. Well, they are all the stars of Easter movies that are going to totally change how you see the holiday. It's a crazy combination, I know, but each one represents a completely different way of telling an Easter story. And I promise, by the end of this, you'll not only have a new appreciation for the creativity behind these movies, you'll also have a brand new favorite to watch this year, one that goes way beyond the usual bunny trail. All right, first up, the Easter Bunny. You'd think it's the best job in the world, right? You get to travel the globe, deliver candy, you're a literal icon of spring. But in the world of animation, it's a gig that almost nobody actually wants. It's like destiny is calling and our hero just keeps hitting decline. It's a super common theme, and it gets at a really powerful idea. What happens when your family legacy feels more like a prison than a privilege? Yeah, it's the classic reluctant hero story, just, with a fluffy tail. These bunnies are destined for greatness, but they would rather be anywhere else, doing anything else. It makes for a hilarious and honestly pretty heartwarming journey about finding your purpose, even if it means you're stuck painting eggs against your will. This whole theme really taps into that universal feeling of wanting to carve your own path, away from what everyone expects of you. So let's look at two perfect and perfectly opposite examples. So check this out. We've got two very different bunnies with the exact same problem. On one side, there's Max from Robot's school. He's a street-smart city kid who couldn't care less about tradition. He accidentally crashes his plane right into this secret old-school academy for Easter bunnies hidden deep in a forest. Think of it like Hogwarts, but with way more egg painting and lessons on how to deliver baskets without making a sound. It's actually based on a classic German children's book from 1924, so it's got this amazing, timeless charm. Then you've got Ebi from Hop. He is literally Easter royalty, next in line to the throne, but all he wants is to be a rock drummer. So what does he do? He runs away to Hollywood. Both of them have to learn that sometimes the greatest adventure is the one you never saw coming, and that serving others can be way more fulfilling than just serving yourself. So, okay, the bunny finally takes the job. Story over, right? Not even close. Sometimes being the Easter bunny isn't just a delivery gig. It's more like being a Secret Service agent. Sometimes the entire holiday is on the verge of total collapse, and you gotta step up and be a hero. And hey, speaking of stepping up, if you're enjoying this holiday adventure so far, do me a quick favor and hit that like button to let me know. It really helps us out. Now, let's meet the villains trying to ruin Easter for everybody. In these movies, Easter becomes a high-stakes mission. The vibe completely shifts from a personal journey to an all-out action adventure. In Rabbit School 2, The Great Caper, our hero Max has to protect the magical golden egg, which is the source of all Easter power, from a sneaky family of city foxes who just want to turn the holiday into a cheap commercial gimmick. And then there's The Brave Cricket, where a whole town of chickens and rabbits basically become detectives to find their entire stash of stolen eggs right before the big day. It's a classic whodunit, just with a lot more feathers and fur. So here's the thing. These holiday heists follow a brilliant, time-tested formula. Step 1, the villain always goes after the eggs. They aren't just for decoration. They're the power source, the thing that drives the entire plot. Step 2, you got to assemble a crew of misfits, usually some cunning foxes or rats who are just jealous of the bunny's fame. Step 3, set some really elaborate traps. But step 4 is where it all falls apart for them. They completely underestimate how brave and clever our heroes are. It's a simple formula, but it works because it raises the stakes from personal drama to literally saving the world. But wait, what happens when the threat is even bigger than a few stolen eggs? What if the villain isn't after something you can hold? What if they want to steal belief itself? When that happens, you're going to need more than just a bunny. You need a team of superheroes. Get ready for the Easter version of the Avengers. In DreamWorks' Rise of the Guardians, the Easter Bunny is completely reimagined as this 6-foot-tall, boomerang-wielding Australian warrior with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's the guardian of hope, and he is absolutely awesome. He teams up with a sword-wielding Santa Claus, a hummingbird-like Tooth Fairy, and the silent but powerful Sandman to take down Pitch Black, aka the Boogeyman, who wants to wipe out all childhood belief. This movie just transforms our favorite characters into these epic, ancient heroes, and it is a stunning example of how far you can push a holiday idea. Okay, enough with the epic battles. Let's get cozy for a minute with some familiar faces. This is where we get to see how characters we already know and love celebrate Easter in their own worlds, with their own unique problems. I've got to ask, what's your absolute favorite holiday special? Let me know in the comments below. I'm always looking for good recommendations. Now, let's see how the 100-Acre Wood and Mr. McGregor's Garden handle the holiday. I love this because it just shows how our favorite characters bring their own history to the holiday. In Winnie the Pooh's Springtime with Rue, Rabbit, the most organized, holiday-obsessed character of the bunch, gets all grumpy and just cancels Easter, replacing it with Spring Cleaning Day. It's up to little Rube to save the celebration. It's basically a Christmas Carol, but with more honey, and it teaches this beautiful lesson about putting friendship before rules. And then you have Peter Rabbit, which is just pure chaotic fun. It's not technically an Easter movie, but its whole vibe. You've got rabbits, gardens, new beginnings, and a whole lot of mischief. It just feels perfect for the season. So far, we've seen bunnies who rock out, and bunnies who fight bad guys. We've seen reluctant heroes and beloved icons. But all of these stories are about the Easter we know today. You know, the cultural traditions of eggs, candy, and springtime. But what about the original story of Easter? One film in our guide takes us way back in time to explore the holiday's deepest religious roots. That's right, no talking animals, no magical eggs, no chocolate factories. This animated film tackles the Easter story from a perspective that is purely historical and religious, and it offers a profoundly different and, for many, a profoundly important kind of holiday movie experience. This movie tells the story of Jeremiah, a young boy in ancient Jerusalem who actually witnesses the very first Easter week. The whole narrative is focused entirely on the Christian faith's account of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection. And by telling the story through the eyes of a child, it makes these huge, monumental events feel accessible and relatable. It really stands apart by choosing to tell the foundational story that gave the holiday its name and its original spiritual meaning. And hey, if you're finding this deep dive into different storytelling traditions interesting, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more explainers just like this one. At its core, this film is all about taking you on a journey. It's made for families who want to explore the spiritual side of Easter in a way that's still engaging for kids. It's a powerful and accessible way to connect with the history of the holiday. And it's a great reminder that behind all the bunnies and baskets, there is a 2,000-year-old story of faith, sacrifice, and hope that is the reason for the season for billions of people around the world. So there you have it. From reluctant heroes finding their calling, to epic guardians defending belief itself, to cozy tales with old friends, and finally, a historical journey to the holiday's true origins. There really is an animated Easter adventure for every family and every mood. But wait, before you make your choice, I've got one more thing for you. A little bonus for those of you who want even more holiday fun. If you're short on time or just want a quick dose of fun, definitely check out these bite-sized Easter adventures. You can watch Sid from Ice Age try to run an egg-sitting service, you can see the classic stop motion of Peter Cottontail, or you can watch Snoopy become the Easter Beagle. There's something for everyone here. So what's it gonna be? A reluctant rocker, a superhero warrior, a nostalgic classic, or the original story? Let me know in the comments which film you're watching this Easter. And if you enjoyed this explainer, give it a like, subscribe for more, and share it with a friend who needs a new movie recommendation. Happy Easter!